Wherever you may be, whether you're at a church or at work or in your family, you may come across someone who's a narcissist. It's estimated that 1 to 5% of the population have narcissistic personality disorder, or NPD. It's diagnosed officially by the Statistical and Diagnostic Manual 5. It's important to recognise that we sometimes have narcissistic traits ourselves, but this is different from a clinical diagnosis. Unfortunately, the person with the personality disorder has no insight into how they are. They don't believe they need therapy. It's only because other people have encouraged them to attend therapy that they get a diagnosis, or that they're being sent by the courts. According to the Diagnostic and Statistical Manual, narcissistic personality is classed as a cluster B disorder due to the erratic behaviour. To be diagnosed with narcissistic personality, there are 9 characteristics and you must meet 5 of these. The first criteria of the DSM-IV is that the individual has an inflated sense of self-importance. People with this trait often appear arrogant and feel like they're more important than anyone else. They overestimate their abilities. People with this trait believe they have power. This can appear in the workplace or in personal relationships where people believe they can denigrate other people's self-worth for them to feel more powerful. Underneath, their self-esteem is very fragile. They often gaslight other people and project their failings onto other people because they can't accept their own. It's always someone else's fault, and such an individual cannot accept responsibility for their own actions. The person hypes themselves up and then denigrates others, puts them down for them to feel more powerful. The second trait is that the individual believes they should only have affiliations with high-level institutions like colleges, universities. Those who believe they are powerful often abuse others in the workplace or in their own homes. They denigrate others, and you'd never see the real true self, the authentic self. It's always exaggerations of how brilliant they are, how successful, how they've done this, how much power they have. In a relationship, equal power doesn't exist. The next trait is requiring excessive admiration. This person believes they're beautiful. They should be admired for all the skills and abilities they have. When this is not present and the person is rejected, this can make the person very agitated and result in abusive behaviours or manipulative behaviours to regain that attention. The person believes they should be admired for the skills, the abilities, for the looks, and they rely on external validation for their self-worth. This admiration is based on their abilities, their skills, their emotional intelligence, their general intelligence. Even though they're probably mediocre or average, they believe that they're more skilled and qualified and able than anyone else. When the person feels rejected or the admiration isn't provided, that person can feel criticised and narcissistic rage can occur. As a result, they can manipulate others to prop up their poor self-worth. This is when you will see the erratic behaviour and denial of behaviours and shifting guilt and responsibilities onto others rather than accepting their failings or wrongdoings. Those with a sense of entitlement believe they should be treated with extra favours, be put first on the list, money, the best clothing, the best treatment over anyone else. It's your job to make their life better. It doesn't matter about your needs. It's all about their needs. Victim mentality ensures, and they always rely on others to make their lives better, whether it's to do with money, food. They should have the top of everything. This is when they believe they can take advantage of those who are weaker than them. They believe they have more power, and this can appear in relationships, especially in the workplace or in personal relationships. Those who are perceived to have a vulnerability are targeted, whether this can be for sex, for money, for shelter. Those who are forced into criminal behaviours could involve drug trafficking, people trafficking, fraud, theft, and any other criminal activity. Those with the trait of lacking empathy have no interest on how their behaviour will affect others. They become cruel, emotionally cold and indifferent to anyone else's feelings. Your feelings don't matter. There's a general lack of warm, caring relationships with a narcissist. Despite claiming high emotional intelligence, there is a complete lack of emotional intelligence, no recognition of feelings, no interest. Even if you're experiencing grief or distressing feelings, there's no interest. And it would be difficult to discuss how your feelings have been hurt with this person. There is just no emotional connection. Being envious of others and believing people are envious of you. This can be a dangerous trait. A narcissist can be jealous of your figure, your looks, even your hair, your personality, what you have, physical things, just anything they can be jealous of, even the relationship you may be in. And such a person can work to destroy what you have, criticise you, put you down, manipulate others. They just believe that they should have what you have, and if they can't get it, they will destroy it. Any kind of abusive behaviours such as silent treatment, criticism, any kind of damage to you, it just shows how their self-worth is really low. Arrogant behaviours and attitudes is the final trait. This trait makes people behave in a way that they're superior to others and they should be admired and respected for the skills and abilities they have. Unfortunately, they do this by denigrating others, can become erratic and rude to others, and even show their competitiveness and behave in a way that's rude to others. And this is a guise to hide a sense of superiority or a fragile self-esteem. Being continuously around these people, your mental health is going to suffer. You can experience anxiety, depression, post-traumatic stress disorder. You're going to get a whole array of symptoms, emotional and physical symptoms of stress. I also recommend a website called Out of the Fog. It's got lots of information about personality disorders, including narcissistic personality disorder. And there's a forum where you can talk to people who've experienced the same thing, because people often feel they're alone. This is an excellent resource my GP gave me when I went with poor mental health. And people believe they're on their own and they're not. You'll be able to identify ways of dealing with things and believing that the damage that's happened to you is not your fault at all. And people believe they're on their own and they're not. You'll be able to identify ways of dealing with things and believing that the damage that's happened to you is not your fault at all. It's due to the person with their manipulative tactics and strategies and the way they've abused you over years. It's quite common to be diagnosed with complex post-traumatic stress disorder, and this is when people experience abuse over a number of years rather than a one-off incident. The main feature of this is a lack of trust, and building on self-trust and trusting others again to have a warm and loving relationship is going to be difficult, but you will get there after the right support. The second website resource I recommend is PTSD UK. This tells you all about mental health issues, anxiety, depression, post-traumatic stress disorder.